Ahoy Ye Swabs, Captain Jeff the Pirate here, at your service. And welcome to Captain Jeff Reviews and Questions Adventure Time. Now, this past week, we had the special Cartoon Network be doing the summer events, where for 1 week it's all this show is new, and then for another week, another show is new. So this past week, it was the Adventure Time series. Now, normally I see their show the one day, and then I do the notes and I put the review together and post it on the YouTube. But since there be so many new episodes, I wanted to make sure I looked over all these carefully and took the right notes. So I actually have paperwork for these episodes. So for all these episodes, I'll be doing them individually and posting them. But I just wanted to let you know, sorry for the wait since Monday. I wanted to make sure I got my reviews right. So, with that in mind, let's get started with the reviews. Arr. Alright, so for this episode, after the events of Ye Forgot Your Floaties, we go to Be Sweet. The episode opens under a starry night sky, and we see LSP, the Lumpy Space Princess, Sans Princess. All she has left in the world now is she has a campfire, a sleeping bag, and to protect herself, she surrounds her sleeping area with like a ring made of bear sweat, which she pours from a bucket. Ew. So as she climbs into her sleeping bag, she gets ready to eat a chicken leg, which is stolen by a raccoon, and she begins to chase. A fight ensues, and while they be fighting over the chicken leg, LSP, who somehow still has her cell phone, gets a phone call. Who is it? We cut to the home of Mr. Pig, Tree Trunks, and Sweet Pea. So LSP shows up there, and after getting cleaned up, Tree Trunks reveals she called her because they need a babysitter, while she and Mr. Pig go out on the town for an evening out. But she tells to LSP very specific instructions as to how to tuck in Sweet Pea. Pat, kiss on the cheeks, pat on the head, snack, forehead. It'd be a long, complex list, which obviously LSP is paying little to no attention to, as she is just impressed by how beautiful the home is. After the parents leave, Sweet Pea shows up, and for a moment, LSP is terrified at the giant baby man creature. So she throws a pizza into his room for him to partake. She locks the door behind him and proceeds to just enjoy the good life. She tries on Tree Trunk's clothes. She stuffs her face repetitively. She's using all their appliances. She stokes the fire. She puts on a record to dance around. And while doing this, the raccoon is at the window, to which she just closes the blinds. Meanwhile, Sweet Pea has finished the pizza, and he's like, "Who will tuck me in? Who will be sweet to me?" Not seeing as how LSP has trapped him in there, he proceeds to sneak out of his room by pretty much busting through the wall and just walking out into the night. Meanwhile, LSP has drawn herself a bath. Even though she took a sink bath, she's now taking a normal bath. So she calls up Marceline. Marceline is just lying on her bed, and she be digging worms and bugs out of her belly button. Okay. So while LSP is explaining how she has a good life, the raccoon from before it then comes up through the toilet. This episode is getting weirder and weirder. Alright, let's see. Bugs and navel. Raccoon comes up through the toilet. Alright. Now then, the raccoon, it starts talking to the Lumpy Space Princess and says how she belongs in the woods with the rest of the animals. Meanwhile, Sweet Pea is out on the town looking for someone to be sweet to him and tuck him in. He bushes into a movie theater. "Will ye be sweet to me?" People throw popcorn at him. He goes into an alley. "Will you give me a snack?" Some bum dweller just hands him something from the garbage, to which he spits out. He then breaks into some other kid's home. Seriously, he just crashes through the wall and be like, "Will you tuck me in?" All of this, of course, draws out the banana guards. This won't end well. This is just snowballing, I tell you. So back at the Tree Trunks in Mr. Pig's house, the raccoon is running around, and LSP is trying to smash it or catch it or shoo it out, and she's breaking everything. And all the while, the raccoon be mocking her, saying, "Everything you touch gets messed up. You destroy everything. You be an animal. You belong in the woods. So LSP is getting just really upset and she'd be like, I'm a good babysitter. I can watch the child. Behold. So she opens the door to Sweet Pea's room and sees that the Sweet Pea is gone. So then she realizes that the raccoon may be right, that she is an animal and she'd be bad. So then she goes wandering off into the Candy Kingdom to try to find the Sweet Pea. She then encounters two of the banana guards who take her to the police station, where Sweet Pea is there, but he be very upset. They be trying to cheer him up. And then LSP appears, and they are both happy to see each other, and to which LSP then begins the tuck-in ritual. Pat on the head, kiss on both cheeks, give a snack, and then Sweet Pea actually falls asleep. Now how the heck they lugged that thing home is beyond me. Arr. Because somehow they do get Sweet Pea home. And Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig, they come back and they see the place is a mess. And they ask him why his sheet be covering a giant hole in the wall. LSP tries to convince him that he be a grown boy and that she needs to be their new live-in nanny, to which she is promptly kicked out. Then she sees the raccoon again, and who says, come, partake of the chicken. It's the leg he stole from earlier. So LSP accepts her fate and just eats the chicken with the raccoon, realizing that she is an animal. Now I have to be wondering something. I was thinking about this. Is the raccoon really talking to her? Because we have seen animals are capable of speech in this world. Or somehow, is this all in LSP's brain? Is her conscious/subconsciousness? Is it finally proven to her that is she finally starting to come to terms that she's not as awesome as she thinks she is, or is she trying? Is it like something trying to tell her that she needs to be a better person? I don't know. Now, meanwhile, back in the house, Sweet Pea talks to Tree Trunks and says he had the dream again. The dream where he was a comic boy, coming back to ooh over and over again. And talking about how there's a fake comet with a bearded man in it. And Tree Trunks says it's a nice dream. And then the episode ends with him saying, the comet approacheth. And we see the night sky and we see a pink comet thing approaching. Now I have to wonder this. The comment that he made about the comet, about the fake one in Martin, was that referencing the past episode of The Visitor when Martin showed up, and it also involved the astral plane when Finn was floating around? Or is it talking about, so is it set before the events of The Visitor, like sometime around there? Or is it talking about how when Martin first showed up, so is this episode set after that? Also, if you think about it, the events he talks about, it has some tie-in with Finn's prophetic dream from the episode Hoots. So now, while I like how this episode has some connectivity to the events, I give the Scar 1.5 thumbs up. Because like I said, I like how it's connecting episodes. And I thought it'd be fairly interesting how, like I said, LSP, either the raccoon is really talking to her, or it be her subconscious. But yeah, the episode, it was goofy, so it was funny, but not really giving us a whole lot to work with. It's one of those like goofy episodes you take a break from the rest of the series with. So I enjoyed it. Alright, that's all the time we have for this episode. So until next time, this be Captain Jeff, reviewing and questioning Adventure Time, saying thank ye for watching. And as always, arrgh!